What if the food on your plate could do two powerful things at the same time? Burn stubborn fat and keep your blood sugar steady. Not a supplement, not a crash diet, just real food. The truth is, your body is constantly deciding whether to store energy as fat or use it, and that decision is heavily influenced by your blood sugar. When glucose spikes hard and crashes fast, your body flips into storage mode. Insulin rises, fat burning slows, cravings explode. But when blood sugar stays stable, your body shifts gears. It taps into stored fat, energy feels steady, hunger becomes manageable. That's the difference. The first food is eggs, whole eggs, the kind many people were once afraid of. Eggs are rich in high-quality protein and healthy fats, and that combination slows digestion in the best possible way. When you eat protein, your body releases hormones like peptide YY and GLP-1, which tell your brain you're full. At the same time, protein has a higher thermic effect than carbs or fat, meaning your body burns more calories digesting it. Eggs also have almost zero impact on blood glucose. That means no spike, no crash, just steady energy. When your morning starts without a sugar surge, you set the metabolic tone for the rest of the day. The second food is avocado, creamy, satisfying, loaded with monounsaturated fats and fiber. Fiber is critical because it slows the absorption of glucose into the bloodstream. Instead of a sharp rise in blood sugar, you get a gentle curve. That stable curve means lower insulin. Lower insulin means your body has permission to burn fat. Avocados also improve insulin sensitivity over time, which means your cells respond better to the insulin you do produce. Better sensitivity equals less circulating glucose, less fat storage, and fewer cravings. It's not magic, it's metabolic control. The third food is fatty fish, especially salmon and sardines. These fish are rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s reduce inflammation, and chronic inflammation is closely linked to insulin resistance. When your cells resist insulin, your pancreas produces more of it. High insulin locks fat inside fat cells. But when inflammation drops and insulin sensitivity improves, your body can access stored fat more easily. On top of that, fish protein is highly satiating. After a meal rich in protein and omega-3s, hunger signals calm down. You don't feel that urgent need to snack an hour later. You feel steady. And steadiness is power. Because fat loss isn't about starving yourself, it's about creating an internal environment where your body chooses to burn instead of store. The fourth food might surprise you. Chia seeds. Tiny, almost invisible, but metabolically powerful. Chia seeds absorb liquid and expand, forming a gel-like texture in your stomach. That gel slows carbohydrate digestion and blunts blood sugar spikes. They are rich in soluble fiber, which feeds beneficial gut bacteria, and your gut health is directly connected to insulin sensitivity. A healthier gut can mean better glucose regulation. Better regulation means fewer insulin surges, and fewer insulin surges mean more time in fat-burning mode. Now, imagine combining these foods in one day. Eggs in the morning, avocado with lunch, salmon for dinner, chia in a smoothie. Each choice gently nudging your metabolism in the same direction. Stable glucose, controlled insulin, increased satiety. And slowly, quietly, your body starts using its own stored energy. Because when blood sugar behaves, fat loss follows. And we're just getting started. The fifth food is something most people walk past without thinking twice. Leafy greens. Spinach, kale, arugula, Swiss chard. They look light, almost insignificant, but metabolically they are heavy hitters. Leafy greens are extremely low in calories and carbohydrates, yet packed with magnesium. And magnesium plays a direct role in glucose metabolism. Low magnesium levels are strongly associated with insulin resistance. When your cells don't respond well to insulin, glucose lingers in the bloodstream. Insulin rises higher and stays elevated longer. Fat burning slows to a crawl. But when magnesium intake improves, insulin signaling becomes more efficient. Glucose moves into cells more smoothly. Blood sugar stabilizes. And once again, the hormonal environment shifts toward fat utilization instead of storage. Leafy greens also contain fiber and antioxidants that reduce oxidative stress. Oxidative stress damages cells and worsens insulin resistance. Lower stress at the cellular level means better metabolic flexibility. And metabolic flexibility is your body's ability to switch between burning carbs and burning fat without drama, without crashes, without cravings. The sixth food is berries. Not fruit juice, not dried fruit. Whole berries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. They taste sweet, but their impact on blood sugar is surprisingly gentle. That's because berries are high in fiber and polyphenols. Fiber slows glucose absorption. Polyphenols improve insulin sensitivity and reduce post-meal glucose spikes. Some studies show that eating berries with a high-carb meal significantly lowers the blood sugar response compared to the same meal without berries. This matters because sharp glucose spikes don't just affect energy, they trigger a hormonal cascade. Insulin rises, fat storage increases. A few hours later, glucose drops rapidly. You feel shaky, hungry, irritable. You crave fast carbs. It becomes a cycle. Berries help break that cycle. They satisfy the desire for sweetness while keeping the glucose curve smoother and more controlled. That smoother curve translates to fewer energy crashes and less late-night snacking. And late-night snacking is often where fat gain quietly accumulates. The seventh food is nuts. Almonds, walnuts, pistachios. A small handful can completely change the metabolic response to a meal. Nuts combine protein, healthy fats, and fiber in one compact package. That trio slows digestion and reduces the speed at which glucose enters the bloodstream. Research shows that adding nuts to a carbohydrate-rich meal can blunt the blood sugar spike significantly. Nuts also increase satiety hormones and reduce hunger signals later in the day. When hunger is controlled, impulsive eating decreases. And when impulsive eating decreases, total calorie intake naturally drops without aggressive restriction. It's not about white-knuckling your way through cravings, it's about biologically lowering them. There's another layer to this. Chronically high blood sugar leads to glycation, a process where excess glucose binds to proteins and damages tissues. Glycation contributes to aging, inflammation, and metabolic dysfunction. By keeping glucose stable, these foods don't just support fat loss, they protect long-term metabolic health. Now, imagine a plate built intentionally, leafy greens forming the base, salmon on top, avocado on the side, a sprinkle of nuts, a bowl of berries for dessert. Each element working in harmony, each bite reinforcing stable glucose, each meal quietly encouraging your body to rely less on incoming sugar and more on stored fat. This is not about extremes, it's about biochemical leverage. And when you leverage your biology instead of fighting it, the results stop feeling forced, they start feeling natural. Now here's where everything connects. Fat loss is not just about calories, and blood sugar control is not just about avoiding sweets. It's about hormonal rhythm. Every time you eat, you send a signal. That signal tells your body one of two things: store or burn. When meals are built around refined carbs and low fiber, glucose floods the bloodstream. Insulin surges to push that glucose into cells. Whatever isn't immediately used gets stored, first as glycogen, then as fat. And when insulin stays elevated, fat cells stay locked. You can't burn what you can't access. But when meals are centered around protein, fiber, and healthy fats, like the 7 foods you just heard, something powerful happens. Glucose rises slowly. Insulin responds gently. It doesn't need to spike. It doesn't need to overreact. Your body remains calm. And in that calm state, it becomes metabolically flexible. Metabolic flexibility means your body can switch fuels efficiently. After a meal, it uses some glucose. Between meals, when insulin drops, it transitions to stored fat. That transition is where fat loss lives. Not in starvation, not in punishing workouts, in those quiet hours when insulin is low and your body is free to burn. There's also the hunger factor. High blood sugar spikes are almost always followed by sharp drops, and those drops feel urgent. They trigger ghrelin, the hunger hormone. They push you toward quick energy. That's why people say they have no willpower. It's not weak character, it's unstable physiology. But when you build your meals with eggs, avocado, fatty fish, chia seeds, leafy greens, berries, and nuts, hunger changes. It becomes steady instead of chaotic. Cravings soften. You stop thinking about food every hour. That mental freedom is not small, it's life-changing. Over time, stable glucose also improves insulin sensitivity. And improved insulin sensitivity means your body requires less insulin to manage the same amount of glucose. Lower baseline insulin levels create more opportunities for fat oxidation. You begin spending more hours in a fat-burning state across the day. Not dramatically, not explosively, but consistently. Consistency is what reshapes the body. And there's an emotional layer to this. When energy is stable, mood stabilizes too. Brain fog lifts, afternoon crashes fade. You feel clear, present, in control. That psychological shift reinforces better choices. It becomes a feedback loop. Stable glucose supports better decisions. Better decisions support stable glucose. This is how food becomes leverage instead of limitation. No single food melts fat on its own, but together, these 7 create a metabolic environment where fat loss becomes the natural outcome of balanced physiology. You're not forcing your body to change, you're giving it the conditions it was designed to thrive in. So the next time you build a meal, don't just ask, how many calories? Ask, what signal am I sending? Because every bite is a message. And when the message is stable, balanced, and intentional, your body responds in kind. Burn, balance, repeat.